even though Fresh and Fit started off as a dating podcast, there was some framework that we understood here and there, especially when it came from Myron. And to be honest, even Fresh. When it came to racism, white supremacy, things like that, Fresh and Fit took the ideology that they would allow those people, especially on the alt-right, to have a home on Fresh and Fit. And then, white people deserve the same right to have their own individual groups, just like blacks. All right. And so that's important to understand. Now, what I want to talk about is this. Recently, Tariq Nasheed did a video on why are conservatives turning on Myron Gaines when he brought up this particular point.
Alt-right, they'll tolerate edginess only when it advances power. Now, Myron, because he's so desperate at this point, he's crossing the line from provocative to being just radioactive. And, once the donors and platforms and the alliances are threatened, the movements, they don't defend you, they'll start discarding you. So he's just doing too much because, that alt-right type, they don't really like Muslims and Islam, and he's a Muslim. So he has to just go extra hard doing this real over-the-top provocative nonsense. He went to it was at the Turning Points USA event. He had on a shirt that was had like some Holocaust mockery stuff on it. So at this point, that's a line even the alt-right, they don't want to cross that line at this point, despite what a lot of people think.
Myron was becoming too reckless, right? And that's something that's important to understand. Myron is causing a lot more problems than good than in the past. But then he talks about a new beef that Myron has.
This one woman who was clicked in with the NRA, Dana Loesch. How do I pronounce her name? Loesch? I can't pronounce her name correctly. Me and her, we done been into it on Twitter. She's taking shots at me and all this stuff. So she was clowning him the other day. Myron and her, they were going back and forth over some things. She was kind of clowning him about his Muslim name, and he was going back and forth kind of clowning her. The alt-right and the alt-right adjacent types. How did this thing start with Dana? I think he posted a picture of himself and with some patriotic or military related event. He was boasting about his contributions to the nation and telling critics to shut the F up and all that. And Dana, she just jumped in and checked him. She was like, "You are Sudanese DEI hire." And she started calling him out for being an Islamist and all that, and started talking about rumors about his sexuality and about him laying up with men. And,
So he talks about this lady, Dana Loesch, okay? Now, Dana Loesch is also on the right, just like Charlie Kirk was or Nick Fuentes. The difference is Dana Loesch is a big-time Israel supporter, and the right is split up between, like I said, those who love Israel and those who don't like Israel. But both the right, all the right is going to be against anti-immigration. They'll tell blacks to pick themselves up by their bootstraps. All of that, verbiage, you're going to hear it. Now, the reason why this is important is because Dana Loesch didn't have really anything to say to Myron or about Myron. This is what happened, though. On December 21st, Myron made this particular mistake. I don't want to play the video, but he called a Jewish pregnant lady out of her name, all right? And he was wearing this particular hoodie. And the hoodie that you see is called Let 'Em Cook, right? And that's making fun of the Jewish Holocaust. He's actually selling this hoodie for like $71. And so this post says, Amaryl Fadil, aka Myron Gaines, calls a Jewish pregnant woman a blank outside of Turning Point USA while wearing a shirt that mocks cooking Holocaust victims. So Myron went to AmFest. I don't know if it was the same day or possibly the last day, because he got in one day, and in the last day he wore the Let 'Em Cook thing, to AmFest, which is a huge slap in the mouth because the Jews support AmFest, all right? The conservative movement in the U.S. has a big problem associating themselves with such degenerate grifters, and this is what Tariq was talking about. Now, how it happened is, once she saw this, Dana Loesch says, can this Islamist even vote here? So she got involved at that point, all right? Now then, he responds with, I've done more for this great nation than you ever have. STFU forever. So Myron was like border patrol. He served, with that and all of this. And that's what happened, all right? Then he also responds, can I vote? Do your research before you criticize patriots, you slow person. So then it went down. It got worse. So she started clapping back like really heavily. You're no patriot. You're an Islamist Sudanese DEI hire. Are the photos on social of you in bed with other men real? Then she continues. Why did you change your name to Amru Fadil? And no, I won't. This isn't a Sharia nation. I'll say what I want when I want. If you dislike it, you can return to Sudan. Then they were going back and forth. I'm just going to focus on what she was saying. You're very sensitive. Your Islamist sister for clicks to excuse your Sharia. So weak in GHEY. But that's what they say about, isn't it? You're a Islamist. Are the photos all over social media of you in bed with other men real? Is that why you try so hard to pretend to be a man? Silence, you cosplay Islamist. Go back to your third world hellhole. All right. So now let me just say this. A lot of the problem with Myron and the right is just not making fun of, Israel and all of that. Because even the people like Nick Fuentes, they have what they're saying about it, but they don't even go this hard. They don't want to go into like Turning Point USA and wear sweaters to like troll them. That's like over the top. All right. But I want you to look at what this guy Dan Holloway had to say. This is not the way an American man thinks. Gaines' views on women, that women are hypergamous, men should invest minimally in them. Their value is tied to youth, beauty, submission, mirror traditional Islamic interpretations of gender roles. Women are primarily seen as wives, mothers whose duties include obedience and modesty, with men as protectors, providers, and clear hierarchy. Gaines secularizes this into red pill language because regardless of distancing himself from the religion, it influences his entire worldview. And the underlying structure is the same. Women are transactional, men must dominate to avoid being exploited, and modern Western egalitarianism is a dangerous deviation. Now I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but she shared this post, and this is important to understand. When you're dealing with a lot of the whites, and this is the problem where some of the red pill guys are gonna have, let me just say, a hard time with the framework. It's gonna be duplicitous. The white racists or the white conservatives are gonna build their entire premise on family. White man, white woman, bringing together, community building, reinvesting into communities. And the American way of understanding that is not by suppressing women or looking at women as 304s and all of that, okay? Not, accepting women into the economic and dynamics of the community. Myron, with his red pill ideology, goes against that. He's an unmarried man. And so if you have a guy with this premise, well, he's gonna do the same thing with the white woman he comes across that he's doing with other people. So they look at him as a problem for the right, because the right still has to have some order, and that order must be built around family and familial traditions. And to be an American means that you must protect white women, all right? Not to make them look bad, say that they're worthless, say that they're silly and all that. That's not gonna work, especially not on the right, because it's unchristian, okay? And you're already not a Christian. You are from Sudan, and so your framework is not matching up with that. And now you're so dangerous. I mean, you're talking about the Jews in that way, let them cook and all this stuff. Then people on the right think about one thing. Well, what happens if he turns on us? Because we've already seen him turn on the blacks. We've already seen him disrespect, foundational black Americans, the guys that helps him get popular. So it's only a matter of time before he does the same thing to us. It's the only way that you can conceive these things. And so they're not wrong for what they're saying, right? Like how they're taking this is like The guy is dangerous. And so now what's happening is you have these white women out, and look, you can go back and forth for it all day. It doesn't look good for you. For a lady that was the president or spokesperson for the NRA, this is a lady that's a big time figure in conservative voices. You are going against her, even though she's a person that supports Israel, she's still white, all right? And you, with your language, you're gonna continue to get that L. And this is exactly what's gonna continue to happen to the guy. He's gonna continue to face these problems where the framework is not gonna match up. Now that they need you guys less and less because they have Nick Fuentes, they have Charlie Kirk, they have their funding, you don't give financial opportunities to the right. You have a podcast platform, you can help break somebody out to the scene, but you can't do anything else. So after that is done, what do they need you for? They don't need you anymore. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.